UFC Fight Night. Sandhagen vs. Song results. Anthony Hernandez defeated Marc-Andre by submission at 1 minute 53 seconds of the third round. Rodrigues defeated Tanner Boser by a split decision. Joe Pyfer defeated Alen Amedovski by knockout at 3 minutes 55 seconds of round number 1. Fili defeated Algeo by a split decision. Gregory Rodrigues defeated Chidi Njokuani by knockout at 1 minute 27 seconds of round 2. And Cory Sandhagen defeated Song Yadong by TKO at the 5-minute mark of round 4. We will expand in a moment. Cory Sandhagen defeats Song Yadong by technical knockout after a terrible cut near his eye. Cory Sandhagen emerged with a technical knockout victory after the ringside doctor refused to allow Song Yadong to continue fighting. The injury occurred early in the fight, courtesy of an elbow thrown by Sandhagen. Song had to deal with significant swelling near his eye that worsened as the fight progressed. That's why the UFC doctor decided to stop the match to prevent the damage from worsening. Despite the unfortunate injury, both fighters put on an exemplary show. Cory Sandhagen challenged Marlon Vera and Merab Dvalishvili, and both fighters answered his call. Cory Sandhagen called out both men after his colossal victory over Song Yadong at UFC Vegas 60. However, Sandhagen didn't know Vera was sitting ringside to witness the night's fights. That's why Marlon responded to Sandhagen moments after the fight's conclusion. On the other hand, Dvalishvili quickly responded via Twitter, saying he would be willing to face Sandhagen.
Who would you want to see the next time?
Yeah, one of those guys in October, or Chidi or Merab are the top 2 guys. You know, I don't want to get left out. Last time I got left out, I had to fight down in the rankings. I want to fight someone at the top.
But when? When do you want to fight again, Cory? We can't wait to watch you compete again.
Give me someone for Christmas.
My man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Cory Sandhagen.
Well, a respectful call out of Chidi Vera or Merab Dvalishvili, who are 3 and 5 respectively. Chidi Vera, you know, he's going to start.
Well, if he wanted, he can get it. I'm not shy away from any fight. I'm a fighter. I fight anybody. I want to be a world champion. If I want to get there and get the belt, I don't run away from no one. If he want it, I can get it. Or I don't know, whatever the UFC wants. I'm ready to go right now. It was a fun fight. I'm impressed by anybody. That's how I push myself. Everybody in the UFC is a hard fight. I'm a hard worker. Anybody can win at this level, so like Mac Miller say, I don't trip. I'm ready to go.
Which fight would you like to see first? Let us know in the comments below. Conor McGregor shows his new trained body. Conor McGregor has flaunted his amazing muscles in a clip posted on his social media. The 34-year-old fighter showed off his bulky biceps while training in the gym. McGregor has already been able to resume his training, despite still recovering from his broken leg, and looks a much more imposing physique than usual. That's why many fans are speculating that the Irishman is preparing to move up in weight class. George St-Pierre mentions the 2 fighters he would have loved to fight. The former UFC welterweight and middleweight champion holds notable wins over BJ Penn, Matt Hughes, and Carlos Condit. Despite his spectacular victories, the UFC Hall of Famer says he would have loved to fight Anderson Silva or Khabib Nurmagomedov. Here is what St-Pierre had to say about it.
Well, I always wanted to be known as the best and be the best, and there's 2 fights that never materialized that could have been made, but you know, for certain reason did not materialize. The first one was against Anderson Silva, and the other one was against Khabib, but for certain reason it did not happen.
But how close were they to happening?
Well, when you're a fighter, you need the 2 fighter and the promoter to make a fight happen. You know what I mean? Even if the 2 fighter wants, but the promoter doesn't make it happen, it's not gonna happen. You know, there is terms. Each fighters bring their terms, that what they want, and then they negotiate, and then it's up to the promoter to make that happen. And it did not happen for these 2 guys. You know.
Which of these fights would you have liked to happen? We'll be reading you in the comments. Chael Sonnen believes that Curtis Blaydes would be the most brutal match for Jon Jones. Chael Sonnen was one of the fighters who had the privilege of fighting Jones for the UFC light heavyweight title in 2013. Despite many names standing out for Jon Jones' debut at heavyweight, Sonnen believes Curtis Blaydes could give us a spectacular fight. Blaydes may not be as popular as other candidates for the bout, such as former champion Stipe Miocic and recent title challenger Ciryl Gane. Yet, Sonnen finds himself convinced that Blaydes could be the toughest opponent for Jones.
I'll tell you the hardest fight, skill-wise, for Jon Jones, easily the hardest fight is Curtis Blaydes.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Curtis Blaydes is
Damn
the
right.
most slept-on fighter.
Yep.
Still, nevertheless.
But the people aren't over that. I mean, I heard those two interviews you guys read. That the audience is not over that. I mean, I've really never seen a guy as willing as him. He goes and fights in Ghana before we knew it was in Ghana. He then wants to do it again. He gets slept in 30 seconds. He flies to a completely other continent to do it again. He gets put out in under a minute again, and he's begging to fight him a third time. Like, those are the kind of guys we usually like.
Sean O'Malley thinks we're lucky Dana White runs the UFC. Sean O'Malley has gone against the opinions of many MMA fans regarding the UFC 279 scandal, and he has come out in favor of White. For the bantamweight star, fans should be thankful that UFC was able to reshuffle the card instead of canceling the fight after Chimaev failed to make weight. Check out Sean O'Malley's statement.
Hearing that,
yeah.
But then when I listened to Dana White yesterday, I'm like, how in the hell could he have organized a conspiracy theory like that?
They have
There's
fights
just no way.
every weekend. They're trying to book
he's so
the biggest, best fights, and it's sweet that they got that done for us fans to
Insane.
watch. Instead of being like, well, Nate and Khamzat's not fighting, so now we just have Tony versus Jingling and and Kevin versus D-Rod. Like, that card would suck. Like, that's not a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So the fact that they could turn around and do that, we're so lucky that Dana White runs the UFC the way he does, because he makes stuff happen.
Daniel Cormier reveals McGregor, Khabib, and Adesanya's salaries as fighters. Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, and Khabib Nurmagomedov have built a fortune from their careers as UFC fighters. Despite the large sums of money the legends have generated, the organization's president, Dana White, has a bad reputation for allegedly underpaying fighters who risk their lives in the octagon. But Cormier strongly disagrees with the criticism that White doesn't pay his fighters enough. In Cormier's words, Israel Adesanya takes between $5 and $7 million per fight, while Khabib would take $10 million. However, the highest salary would go to the Notorious, who manages to generate more than $20 million due to his talent for selling tickets and causing controversy.
Izzy is making between 5 and 7. Khabib made probably 10. Conor makes 20 base, 15, 20 base.
And this is just to walk into the ring.
When you walk into the ring, you get paid. And guess when you get paid?
In the locker room, right?
In the locker room. You walk back, and they give you a check, 3, 4 million, 5 million, whatever it is, like they give it to you in the back. So they try to protect the athlete a little bit by not showing exactly what you make. But in Louisiana, they see 500,000, they think you're rich.
Right.
But it's like, so a lot of it's hidden, and you also make money on the pay-per-view side. So if you become a guy like Conor, like Jones, like Izzy, you start selling pay-per-views, man, you get $2 a buy, $3 a buy, $4 a buy, and then that money starts to really go.
That's all for today, folks. If you want to know the latest UFC news, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and click the like button so you don't miss any details about the upcoming fights. Thanks for watching. We will see you soon.